and welcome back, noobs and noob slayers. What is up, guys? Diz Tactical here, and today I'm excited to announce a new game similar to Dark and Darker and Tarkov If They Had a Baby is officially out now. The game is called Legacy, Steel, and Sorcery, and it's an action combat PvPvE extraction RPG. Developed by Notorious Studios, and this is one of my favorite parts, a team comprising of former World of Warcraft developers. That just hits me right there. Honestly, the art style just reminds me so much of WoW and some of the mechanics as well. But we're going to dive into it. So the game, essentially, you're allowed to embark on adventures, solo or with friends, to gather loot, slay creatures, and engage in combat with other players. Now, one of the cool things about this as well is if you don't actually have a lot of friends who are on PC or anything like that, you can do a search function in the game, so you can just find a random team to play with. Honestly, that's one of my favorite things. But this game is literally like if Dark and Darker and Tarkov had a baby, with just a mixture of WoW thrown in. I mean, I know it's such a weird way to describe the game, but it is it's chef kiss. This game's amazing. Now, I want to go into the gameplay and mechanics of this game. The game features a third-person perspective with a focus on high-stakes combat and strategic encounters. Players can choose from 4 distinct classes, and, well, I've played a little bit of all of them, but the most time I played on the early access build was Warrior. Now, Warrior is a bold fighter wielding heavy and medium weapons, serving as a tank with skills like Iron Grip, Rampage, and Charge. Now, I am going to warn you, at least with my skill gap, what I noticed was when you play against ranged classes like Priest and Hunter, unless you get the Priest who's a Chad of the Sword and Shield, then, well, things are going to get really messy. I noticed that the Warrior kind of lacks some like speed to be able to get them besides your Charge, but it just gets really messy, at least for me. Again, it was probably a skill gap issue, so I would suggest bringing in some javelins like you're a Roman soldier and just start chucking them. But Warrior was a lot of fun. It serves as essentially, like I said, a tank. Next up, the Hunter. A skilled marksman using a long-range bow and arrow, capable of setting traps and committing loyal sentinels. Now, honestly, these guys were kind of annoying in the early access build for me, especially being a warrior. They would kind of lock me in place, stun me, put me to sleep, and just it was just very annoying. But these guys are gonna be some pretty decent damage dealers, and well, if they're pretty agile, so definitely be on the lookout for these guys. Next up, we have the Rogue, a stealth expert adept at striking from the shadows and swiftly moving in and out of battles. Now, Rogues are kind of scary, but obviously it's going to be a little bit less health pool than the Warrior. They can disappear, throw smoke bombs, poison darts, things like that, so definitely be on the lookout for those guys. However, again, it's going to be similar to the Priest and the Hunter. They're going to have a little bit lower health pools than the Warrior, so, that can kind of be compensated. Next up here, we have the Priest. Harness divine power to smite foes and can levitate, using abilities to absorb projectiles as well. Now, honestly, the levitate, I was so jealous because 2 of my teammates would always run the Priest. In addition to that, the Priest is a little broken right now, in my opinion, or was in the early access build. Essentially, what happened is the Priest could put people to sleep, have a melee buff, heal themselves, and just really kind of be a jack of all trades, and it was not a good time. Again, I could have been playing against people that have been playing this since the early builds, but I was just getting wrecked by priests. Now, additional classes like Paladin and Wizard are planned for future updates, so I'm very excited to see the direction they go with those classes. Combat is fast-paced, requiring precise timing for attacks, blocks, and dodges. I didn't really get to do a lot of the blocks because I played Warrior a lot, being, you kind of have a great axe. I didn't really get to play with the sword and shield aspect. The environment plays a significant role, with classes having unique ways to interact with it. For instance, the Warriors can charge through walls, apparently. I didn't really get to do that much. I'm going to have to try it in the actual game if you can. They can, however, destroy, like, statues that priests and hunters pray to, so that's very interesting, and I'm pretty certain that's how you get rage back. Now, also, obviously, priests can levitate to avoid danger. Again, the most annoying thing for a brute warrior like myself, just unga, bunk, and I couldn't do it. Next up, we're gonna go into the world and exploration. Players can explore the main map, Greenwood, with more locations like the Dungeon Crypt and Goldbrook Farm planned for future updates. Now, adventurers can also, again, venture solo or team up with 2 friends to search for treasure, complete quests, and battle both rival players and AI-controlled foes. Now, I really want to talk about the AI-controlled foes. This is a lot of fun because you actually see AI fighting each other. I've seen wolves fighting skeletons, I've seen skeletons fighting goblins, and I've seen wolves, skeletons, and goblins all fighting each other at once, thinking that they were other players. My inner honey badger from Tarkov came out saying, "Oh, let's go get him," and well, it just turned out to be AI fighting each other. It was really cool to see that a living world was happening and patrols would run into each other and fight each other. It's something that I think more games need to do because it actually made the world feel like it was a living environment. Then, going up to the exploration, reputation with vendors unlocks better crafting options and personal lodgings can be upgraded for additional benefits. This obviously is your bread and butter from Tarkov with the vendors where you can barter things, and obviously this is a little different because in this game the vendors also act as your crafting aspect. So again, it's very important that early on in the game, you're going to want to make sure you level up who you want to kind of go forward. I would suggest probably alchemy, and then depending on your class, I would probably say weaponsmith. But again, it is very crucial because this is going to make it so you can get rings for extra health, extra damage, or you can make potions. And again, the game's very kind of unforgiving a little bit, or it can be, because one moment I was kind of fat rich, and then the next I was kind of just, you know, on the side of the street inside of the game asking for money, and I was running a basic kit. So things can change very quick, just like Tarkov. Now, next up, we're going to be going and talking about it being an early access game and the development. So keep in mind this is early access, and it's obviously going to still be in development, with plans to refine, expand, and improve the game based on player feedback. The developers intend to release major updates every few months, introducing new features and content, followed by patches to address any issues. And again, honestly, with what I've seen in the game so far, I am very impressed with the overall art and just the kind of like the feel of the game. I really hope that the devs put a lot of updates into this game because I do see it being something very huge. And honestly, we could see something that becomes very popular. Next up, we're going to go with the community and feedback. As I said, the development team actively monitors feedback from the player community to inform ongoing improvements. Players can engage through the official Discord server and Steam discussion forums to share their experience and suggestions. Again, this is very important, especially with a small company like this. Our opinion matters, and our opinion's obviously going to keep this game alive. So, again, make sure that you get involved in the Discord, go to those forums, and tell them what you think. Because, honestly, the devs are very receptive. Legacy Steel and Sorcery offers an intense and rewarding experience for fans of competitive RPGs. Its combination of PvP, VE mechanics, class diversity, and environmental interactions provides a fresh take on the fantasy RPG genre. As the game continues to evolve during its early access phase, it holds promise for those seeking a dynamic and immersive adventure. For a more in-depth look at the game, you might find it helpful to join my Discord to have conversations, join the official Legacy Steel and Sorcery Discord, or also just have conversations in the comments below. One last thing that I want to mention before we end the video is I am doing a giveaway for this game where it's going to be one code, and the giveaway is going to end on Sunday, so make sure you guys pay attention to the videos that I post over the next couple of days on Legacy Steel and Sorcery, as they're going to allow you to have those entries into the game, and well, who knows, you might be a lucky one. And also, again, make sure you join my Discord, as it'll also help you figure out how to get more involved in my community, as well as possibly give you more entries into this giveaway. Thank you all so much for everything with the channel. I can't believe we've grown to the way it is. I want to say thank you to my Patreons. They're going to be listed on the screen right here. I just am very thankful for everyone's support with the channel. And again, without all of you, we would not be where we are at this moment in time. We're on the road to 10K, and we are going to hit it. I promise you. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you guys stay tactical. And until next time, noobs and noob slayers. You monster! You kill one of your own! How dare you do this? You disgrace the warrior clan.